Cape Town storms have left many families devastated after their homes were flooded at the weekend. On Sunday, the Western Cape experiencing torrential rains that battered large parts of the province, causing severe damage in some areas. Now, the province has dispatched disaster management teams to assess the damage and also assist in areas where there is a need for assistance. The South African Weather Service also issuing an orange level 9 for the region with an estimation of 100 millilitres in excess of rain. Well, Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala is in Cape Town, having just landed. Nqobile, good morning to you. Talk to us about how this situation is being handled by the city's disaster management teams.
Well, as we landed earlier, we've just found ourselves in the disaster office, and already we've had a sneak peek into one of the meetings that are taking place currently to sort of look in terms of how they're going to assist the people on the ground. And we know that there are teams already on the ground. If you're an aeroplane as well, we could see from a bird's eye view that some of the areas are still much flooded. And of course, we're going to get more details in terms of how many areas are now affected. And I bring you in now, sir. Perhaps if you can give us an idea, people are going back home, but there's a lot of damage. How much damage are we talking about at this point?
Okay. So we have impacts from the severe weather right across the city of Cape Town that resulted in flooding, also mudslides, trees that were uprooted due to the wet soil and the high winds, wind damage to structures across the city, and then, of course, because of the flooding, people affected in their households. So confirmed households affected in informal structures only is above 1,500. So as assessments continue, that number will grow. But we have at least 50 major impact areas that we are tracking in terms of impact on people that need assistance.
And of course, you've got your teams on the ground. Is there any families, any people that you had to rescue, evacuated?
Well, yesterday during the morning in the Strand area, there were some rescues by the fire and rescue services of people in houses that were trapped. And then also during yesterday in the Sunflower area, people were evacuated from very deeply submerged houses and so on. So that's about 60 people. But the evacuations are done now, and we hopefully with a clear skies coming from today onwards, we can see the flooding subsiding and us able to get to recovery operations.
And as you do that recovery, which areas are you mostly concerned about?
Yeah. So although the impact was widespread, the major impact was in the Helderberg area of the city of Cape Town. That's more towards Gordons Bay, Strand, the Salores Pass Village, areas like that. And Salores Pass Village is an example of an area that had severe mud flows into properties that resulted in a lot of damage. But we also had mud flows in areas like Hout Bay. So widespread, but Salores Pass Village is a badly affected area.
Okay, and briefly, what now?
What now? So, of course, the first priority when any incident like this happens is rescue and making sure life safety is attended to. After the rescue operations, then we move into recovery and rehabilitation and relief where we can. So during the rescue, we've worked with, in the Sunflower area, for example, the National Sea Rescue Institute and our volunteers, Fire and Rescue Services, Emergency Medical Services. Now when we go into relief, we work with our NGO partners and the Department of Social Development from province and SASSA, who's got the mandate in terms of relief of social distress. And we work with our partners to try to provide relief where possible. Of course, the city's departments that deal with the engineering side and the technical side, road infrastructure management, catchment stormwater river management, solid waste, informal settlement management, they all work in terms of getting the situation back to normal as soon as possible.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. That is, of course, Johan from the disaster team. And we understand that there's quite a lot that's happening on the ground, Oli, and we are going to go on the ground to see more of that as it happens.
Nqobile Madlala on the ground for us in the Western Cape, monitoring the situation around the disaster that has come with flooding.